Shut up and sit down.
What is up, everybody? What is going on? Happy Saturday night. Welcome to this week's episode of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hello, everybody. I am Nate.
And I'm Scott.
Sometimes Josh, sometimes Chris, sometimes Mardo.
Or whatever name I decide to go with that day.
Scotty too hottie.
All right. So, well, before we go on, just because, like I said, I have to tell the story about the names. Just because, so whenever we go out to eat, when they ask for your name for someplace, we always try to create the most innovative, totally not our name situations possible. They are amazing. So the trick is, like I said, so you kids out there in the audience, if you want to try this, is to the hat trick is to see if you can actually use the name of the person that's serving you the food and give that name to them.
We have to add a caveat to that, though. If their name is Josh, you can't you got to wait and find the person that has that weird, unique name. If you're a girl and the person's name is like Serenity, you have to be like, all right, I'm gonna say my name is Serenity, and be like, no way, you too,
or like Jalen.
Jalen.
So that is my crowning achievement. I said there was a nice young woman at the Chick-fil-A that her name was Jalen. I basically then utilized that as my name, and then she's like, "Really?" I'm like, "No, but it's with an I," because I said I think hers was spelled with an E, so it was great.
It's just one of those things where you're out in public and you want to observe how people are going to react to something crazy. It's like,
you gotta keep
something fun here.
Yeah, you got to keep it interesting. So side tangent. So if this is your first episode of the STS Guys, welcome to the channel. We are a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. Like I said, for our audio listeners, like I said, we basically record our show live on YouTube at 9 p.m. on Saturday, Pacific Standard Time, typically. So we'll go ahead and give a shout out to the chat right now. We have Larry. Larry's in the chat, but not in the stream.
Larry's
preoccupied at the moment. Love Stranger Things. What's going on? Love Stranger Things. You got Ian Doge. Special shout out. Happy birthday, Ian. We got Dystopian Guy. He subbed. Hey, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate that. And we have Funko Geek Dad. What's going on? STS Guys. What's going on, Funko Geek Dad? How's it going? All right. So on this week's episode, we're gonna talk something that we actually wanted to talk about last week, but like I said, last week we had so much coverage from San Diego. We had all this other stuff going on, so you know what? We had to save an entire episode to talk about everything that came out of San Diego Comic-Con in terms of television shows and movies. So that's kind of the topic of tonight's show. There's a couple, and then there's also a couple trailers that dropped post San Diego as well.
We'll call it add-ons. I think.
Yeah, let's call it add-ons.
Well, and I think most of the ones that we were going to call add-ons anyway were shown at Comic-Con, but they were like the Hall H ones that didn't get released at the same time, and we're just kind of catching them later. So I think they count, right? Those are Comic-Con trailers.
Yeah, so those are Comic-Con trailers. Like I said, there's a ton of different things that have come out of there. So
a lot of stuff shown.
A lot of stuff shown. So this year, like I said, for those of you who don't know, DC Comics, Warner Brothers, they kind of dominated the movie scene. Marvel Studios actually didn't even show up to Comic-Con. Because I said it's a whole nother year until I said the next part of Infinity War. They just came out of a blockbuster, like I said, summer movie season with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Black Panther, and Infinity War. They really didn't have anything to show just because a lot of it's being kept secret until the next phase of Infinity War, and then as we get into Captain Marvel as well, before we go ahead and proceed that. So
I'm really, really hoping that we at least get a little bit of an idea with the Captain Marvel movie as to at least a name to on. I know we love to speculate and kind of make up theories and be like, I think this is what happened. Jeremy and I famously had a secret invasion theory for the movie that was completely 100% wrong.
I like I said, I don't want to get into argument.
Jeremy's still a believer.
Yeah, it still could happen. It still could happen. We'll give it that one, but maybe later. But yeah. So I want at least a name so we can start digging through our comic collection and try to figure out like maybe what storylines they're going to continue with, or how we can, if we can maybe guess what's going to happen.
Here's the thing. So real quick, just because I'm still sticking with my Stranger Thing.
Stranger Things.
My Secret Invasion. I got Stranger Things on my for some reason.
I love Stranger Things.
All the people that turned to dust just went to the upside down. That's Jeremy's theory.
No, I'll tell you. Like I said, the reason I have Stranger Things on my mind is I actually just did a deal on Stranger Things. I'll tell you guys about that later. But I said Secret Invasion. I'm telling you right now. I said if you don't already own this set of 8-issue this 8-issue run of comic books, go and buy it now while it's cheap. Like I said, you're not going to regret it. I said this is going to be a thing. You can pick up the entire series for like $20 on eBay right now. Go and buy it. I'm telling you, Nate, you better go and buy this. Scott, better buy this. Go and buy this. Like I said, it's worth a $20 investment because it's going to, like I said, if this turns into a storyline and this turns into a thing, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be a storyline. Yeah, no,
and I say it's a good storyline anyway, and it's really cool to see kind of the whole, I guess, the whodunit aspect of it. Who's a Skrull, who's a not aspect of that the story. It's a great storyline anyway, but I agree with Jeremy. If they're not going to do it now, they're going to do it in the future. They are introducing the Skrulls for a reason, and they're really going to focus the entire movie on that time frame. It makes me think at some point we're going to get a secret invasion.
Yeah, and I didn't know much about Secret Invasion before I really talked to you guys about it. And it's an interesting, I can definitely see it being one of those next phase type things, like a long breeding period or brooding period or something until it actually explodes into what it actually is. But, I've told you guys before, there's things about the story and not wanting to use the history like, hey, these guys have been fake the whole time. They're just these aliens. There's things about it I don't like, but I could see it being something that goes in the next phase.
Yeah, it's totally gonna be a next phase thing. Like I said, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think
with all the new characters they're introducing, it's a perfect time to add like some of them might be Skrulls.
Yeah,
it's a perfect. It's like I said, it's a perfect opportunity to hit the reset button.
True.
Like I said, you got people's contracts that are ending. You want to, like I said, basically get new talent in, basically younger talent in to kind of take some of these roles on. Like I said, it's going to be a tough watch just because I said I've always known Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I've always known Chris Evans as Captain America. It's going to be weird to see kind of what they do with some of those roles, or if they just kind of like let those roles cool for a little bit and then bring them back at a later time. Who knows?
Well, it's a little intriguing. Like, Marvel doesn't have any presence at San Diego Comic-Con, and they're not really releasing much of anything as far as trailers. So it makes me think that there's either a big reveal coming up soon that they don't want to spoil, because they're not even talking about the next Infinity War movie. So I think they have something big planned, and maybe it is like an introduction into Secret Invasion. Who knows?
Well, but you have plenty of time. Like you could have like in Spider-Man, right? You have Ned, you have MJ, right? Two just side characters, not a powered individual, but you could totally turn one of them around and be like, oh yeah, I've been like totally like Ned, I've been helping you out because that's part of my plan is to try to get close to you or whatever. Like you could totally have these side auxiliary characters show up that we didn't get a backstory on them. We don't really know much more than, hey, they're just this other person. So something like that I think would be perfect. And you could go back and you wouldn't have to really try to rewrite anything in the back, kind of in the back end.
Well, yeah. And, I think they're going to start introducing something really cool too, with what we kind of saw in Ant-Man, the quantum realm, and being able to access time. That could be used both in good ways, but also in bad. And just talk about like what you think with Secret Invasion. I don't know if the story goes this way, but they could really go back in time and start planting these Skrulls into the story and work it in even in the in the future.
Well, like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with the movie, just because, like I said, I think that's why. So the whole entire Captain Marvel movie takes place in the '90s. I think that'll have a lot to do with, like I said, a lot of those time travel aspects. A lot of those, like, hey, those seeds have been there since day one. It's just we haven't done anything else.
Yeah,
but you know what?
totally.
We could talk about that all day. Let's actually talk about what was at Comic-Con.
Yay!
We just spent 10 minutes talking about something that wasn't even.
Just yeah.
You can tell our excitement for it, though. You know,
honestly, to go through their absence, I think was just as felt as them being there. To be honest,
sure.
as that big of a group to be missing, because I mean, nothing Disney, no Star Wars, nothing was there at that. At Comic-Con, which made it really interesting that they just took that entire time off.
True. And DC fully took advantage of it. I mean, going into our next topic, Shazam.
Okay, let's talk Shazam first.
Okay. Let's start with a thumbs up or thumbs down on it to start with, because I think this is a good start. Why the fuck does it keep? Anyways, my camera's like, get blurry. Yeah. So this is my one like major thumbs up for the trailers that we saw. Like, out of all of them that I saw, this is the one that I was like, I'm actually excited to see.
Yeah, I'll agree with Scott. This one genuinely surprised me. I was probably quoted saying earlier, like, I'm scared for Shazam. But after seeing the trailer, I'm genuinely kind of excited for it now.
Yeah.
I am also excited for it because, you know what? I wanted to shit over this movie so bad because, like I said, the first Entertainment Weekly still that came out,
it looks so bad.
With him like in front of the convenience store with the other kid, it looked terrible. I'm like, I can't believe they're making this movie. This is going to be terrible. Mm-hmm. But like I said, to see the actual trailer and the actual humor they introduced in the trailer, I actually kind of dug it a lot.
So yeah. What I said to Jeremy is, after watching that trailer, as I said, is like, I think they finally washed the Zack Snyder stink off of the DC universe. Like, they're starting to finally get rid of that just dark, gritty crap that made the other movies in that universe unbearable.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. This is a really nice change of pace. And Jeremy said something that I wanted to focus on too. Seeing some of the still images they released before they released any actual footage made me really scared. Like Jeremy said, the one with Shazam in front of the convenience store just looked awkward and weird, and it looked like they were trying to go for funny. But having the context to it now, after seeing the trailer, I'm like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense.
Way more. Except the context behind it is way better now. Plus, like I said, I think they're finally getting in that humor aspect, but like not completely overdoing it, but they're doing it to actually fit the situation. I don't think, like, for example, they tried to do it in Justice League to insert that humor a little bit. You couldn't do that just because you've already established those characters in some of the other movies. You can't basically then refocus and retweak their characterizations to kind of introduce that humor now. This is my first experience seeing Shazam. Like I said, he's a kid as well. Like I said, you have a fresh slate to basically kind of introduce that comedy.
Yeah, and dude, honestly, like, what you said is correct. You can't have Batman super serious through Batman versus Superman suddenly start throwing out one-liners and like quips, like in the next movie. Like,
well, and it's so true though, because the comedy in Justice League felt really forced, whereas the comedy in Shazam felt a lot more natural. Because like you said, it's like, he's a kid. You're focusing on the fact he's a kid, and he's like, whoa, I've got superpowers. Let's just explore them together. And he's got his friend, and they're kind of just learning about who he is now. And that's just cool. It's a whole different way to build a character.
And I can say, I audibly laughed out loud at the charged your phone scene. Like, that whole charged your phone. Like, I was laughing my ass off that entire time.
That was really good.
Like I said, out of all of the trailers, so that one, like I said, surprising the most. It's honestly the one I actually watched last out of all the trailers that came out, just because I'm from the still images, I'm like, I have no interest in this movie whatsoever. But you know what? I'm still gonna watch it just to kind of see what it was about. And like I said, and it was literally probably the best trailer to drop out of Comic-Con.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you guys, now that you've seen him using the suit and walking around, do you feel better about the suit, or do you still not like it, or what are your thoughts?
Still don't like the suit, but regardless.
So
Yeah.
it's comic book accurate, like is what I can say, but it's kind of dumb. Like it's legitimately a onesie with a glowing lightning bolt. Like it's a dumb costume, but
And I think
it looks fine.
Yeah, I think this is where the difficult part's going to be at. If they ever try to basically put another of their established superheroes next to Shazam, it's gonna look weird. Just because he's so overly comic book stylized, like in the costume, versus some of the other costumes are more like realistic for what they are.
Yeah.
Flash and armor.
Yeah, it's gonna look weird.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to bring up a Tropic Thunder reference here, but you never go full retard, and they kind of went full comic book with that Shazam suit, and it looks a little overdone.
Based on the fact that it's, I mean, he gets his powers from a wizard of all things. Like the whole aspect of the movie is kind of hokey.
It's like the old wizard was playing Pokemon. Billy Batson, I choose you.
Yeah.
You should be my champion.
And I'm curious to see how the villain is for this movie, because I don't know much about who they picked for the villain. I was expecting Black Adam, but it's not happening in this one, it looks like. So
Yeah, no, it is not. Now, I would assume that he is going to be like the end credit, whatever, kind of teaser, because they're following suit with that as well. So he's probably going to be an end credit thing. The bad guy in this one is played by Mark Strong, and he really has never had a character that I've been like, oh, I hate that character he plays. I mean, he's an awesome character actor, so I don't really worry too much about it, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. No, like I said, that's the one I'm most excited for. Okay, so overall, because we're gonna do for trailers, let's do our thumbs up, thumbs down rating. Would this be a movie you want to see? Thumbs up for yes, or maybe yes. Yeah. So 3 thumbs up across the board. We're gonna go see it.
Thumbs up or get out of town, whatever.
Yeah, probably gonna go see this as a crew, just because I said I like to do a whole podcast episode on this. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go with Aquaman. Yeah.
tell us, Jeremy.
You know what I can say about Aquaman? It's a movie. I think
that is correct. That's a great observation.
That is about what we got.
Yeah, Scott, you're just so. I mean, I didn't know that before.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I said, here's the thing. So I think it doesn't look necessarily, like I said, it wasn't bad. It was just like, I'm like, do you really have to go all out? Like I said, in this whole grand escapade thing to introduce his character, which I don't think you have to. So we've already had an introduction to Aquaman. It doesn't necessarily need to be this grand scale introduction in regards to let's go here, let's have the war of the Atlanteans. I don't know.
I really think this movie should have taken place before Justice League, but
yes, and that's probably my biggest gripe with it too.
Yeah.
The placement seems really weird.
Well, especially he clearly knows where the hell Atlantis is, because he goes there in the movie and they're very aware of him. Right. So it's not you're like, oh, they have this relationship, but then we're gonna go back and go a little bit more. Like I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I think I have a problem. So let me know if you guys have this problem. And it doesn't necessarily need to apply to like this movie like specifically, or just any movie like this, where you introduce a character, the character's in full action, this, that, and the other, and then you do another movie that then does a whole flashback on backstory, because I don't think you need it, because like I said, you've already had the taste of the character, what the character is about. This, you know what? I don't care. It's just we now know this character exists. I don't think you need to go back and do a whole backstory on Aquaman, then flash forward back again.
No, 100%. You don't need an origin story for a person if they've already had an entire movie where they are a major character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I kind of see what they're trying to do. It's like Aquaman clearly is not a traditional person, Atlantean or whatever, I guess that's what they call him. So I think they're trying to focus on like how did Aquaman become who he is, but we just don't know enough about him for them to like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird angle for the movie for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I will say though that Black Manta looks really cool. Like I love how the costume looks very classic. I guess that's one of the main things I'm excited for. It doesn't look horrible, but it's one of those movies. It's like, I don't know. I'm not nearly as excited as Shazam.
So in the chat, so Nicola, she actually saw the cast of Aquaman. Conan looks interesting. She loves the fact that they brought up a point about Aquaman will be wearing G under. Hey, real quick, Nicola, like I said, here I actually wore this specifically for you, Johnny Cash. There you go. Because you're
nice.
Yeah, it's I don't see. Like I said, I just don't see it being that great of a movie. But you know what? I'll still see it. I'm just not gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a sideways thumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the best thing, and I'm right there with you. I'm gonna go see it at the theaters. I am not like super excited for it, but I'm not ready to shit all over it quite yet. Like maybe if I get a couple more trailers, I can make a decision about it. But yeah, like I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, is the best way to put for it.
Yeah, no, I like I said, it'll be one of those. So, for example, like Shazam, I'll probably see opening weekend. Aquaman, I don't know. I don't necessarily. I don't have to see opening weekend. I'll probably wait for it to die down a little bit and then see it in the theater.
Or we'll just go to the $5 movie at AMC.
Yeah. And I will say, like, even though I'm more excited for Shazam, being a bigger DC fan myself, like I'm just excited to see if they can actually start getting these movies right. Shazam looks like a good move in the right direction. Aquaman, hopefully it turns out well. You know, I know they just announced a new Flash solo, so I'm just glad to have more DC. I just want them to be on Marvel's level as far as their movie quality, because Marvel's just killing it. So we'll see how it turns out.
So Uncle Dad basically says, kind of an offshoot. I was like, what do you think about having a Halo series of movies?
Video game movies scare me, man.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is, I would love to see like a Halo movie, especially maybe something about go back in Master Chief's past, kind of, with him as an active Spartan and all that stuff.
See, Scott, I don't want a Halo movie. I want a Halo series.
Halo TV series would be amazing.
Back when I think it was Halo 4. When Halo 4 launched, they did that little web series that they did.
Yeah, the vignettes with the different each one had a different like animation style and everything.
I think it was like
not the animation one, the actual live action one that they did.
Oh yeah, the web series one.
Yeah. So I said if they actually extend that out, like say throw it on HBO, I'd watch it.
So that would be good. But I would love to have a couple of video game properties that are successful first. I don't want to be a dick, but like, there's been tons of I'm a dick, whatever. There's been a ton of really shitty video game movies, and I've had my hopes brought up so many times just to have them dash down again that I can't anymore. But yeah, like.
What was the series? Funko Vlogger says, "What about an STS Guys movie?" No one would watch that.
Yeah, I was going to say you're kind of getting that movie right now.
We can only get like 8 people to watch as we are right now. Like
we're not going to be fighting people underneath the water, and it's going to be us talking just like this in a live stream. So you're getting it now.
I think. Maybe that's an idea, though. I think Funko Vlogger gave me an idea. I think we should shoot a B STS Guys movie, like a horror, horror. I think
we could do okay. We could do good.
Or we could do like a best of STS Guys moments and just have different moments from our live streams. That'd be kind of cool.
Just me cursing. Just how many times did he actually say the F word?
Yeah.
Or I said, remember that time when we all played Friday the 13th video game?
And Jeremy and I had to put a parental advisory on the video.
You guys got super naughty.
Yeah, the only STS Guys video that actually has a parental advisory on it because it is terrible. All right, back to trailers though.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go find the Jason live stream.
It's terrible. Like I said,
It's glorious.
I said if you're under the age of 18, I'm sorry. Don't do it.
Beers were had.
Yeah, bad. That's for sure. Many.
So what's the next one, Jeremy? What do we got?
So let's talk Godzilla. How about that?
Oh yes,
Let's talk about Godzilla.
Godzilla.
So I'm very excited for the Godzilla movie. It could be bad. I don't care. It's giant monsters beating the shit out of each other. Like, it's going to be entertaining regardless.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
But what my thing is, I have one gripe about the trailer, and it doesn't have anything to take away from the movie or anything. It was the fact that all the different monsters and everything, like I'm going to still call them kaiju. I don't like the fact that they call them titans. It's kaiju. Like, it's always been that. Like in Pacific Rim, taking away that term, so we can't use it in other movies. They always were like shrouded. I know that in the trailer they didn't want to give away what exactly they look like, but you couldn't get a clear look at anybody other than Godzilla in the trailer, and I really was like, I was hoping to get a good glimpse. Like, no one gives a shit about Mothra. Show me Mothra, at least a little bit. Like, don't put him behind a big old cloud of smoke.
I think that's sort of the draw behind it, though. Like, I agree with you. I wish I could have seen more of the monsters because they revealed some pretty good ones, but we know enough from what they revealed about what monsters they are. I mean, Scott was able to name all 3 names of them. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's this, and this."
Yeah, I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna. What are you guys talking about? Like, Scott, what are you talking about? Like, a lot of these like, oh, they show too much in the trailer, and if I watch the trailer, I basically know what the movie is about.
Yeah,
like,
but like I don't care about the story. But no movies to have your 4 main characters behind smoke the whole time. Like, I don't want them to tell me the goddamn story Spider-Man Homecoming style in the fucking trailer.
Well, I guess to Jeremy's point, they could have maybe left out one monster. Maybe they are, but we at least saw 3 of them.
There's probably going to be more, but like, at least show me. Like I said, I don't need to see Ghidorah or Rodan, right? But show me fucking Mothra. Like, is somebody other than Godzilla, for God's sakes.
Jeremy's kind of got me pinned here. I'm always complaining about.
You're always complaining. I'm like, don't even try to come back to that name.
Yeah.
Like,
now I'm like, I want to see.
I want to see stuff.
It's because, like, and I'm sure you guys are the same way. When I was a kid, even though Godzilla movies were a little cheesy, I loved watching the monsters fighting. There's just something about it. It's like wrestling, but with monsters.
And it's what you knew as like a 5-year-old watching that was a dude in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
And they were just like slapping each other around for an hour and a half. Like, it was wonderful.
This is like one of those Godzilla movies I've been waiting for. Like, the first one was a little disappointing because the story just got really weird. I'm not even going to talk about the one they made back in early 2000s. That was horrible. So this one finally giving us extra monsters and some fight scenes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's classic Godzilla.
2000 wasn't horrible. That one was a classic. Matthew Broderick, come on.
What though? The one in 1997?
Yeah.
With the, I don't even know what they actually have a name for it. There is actually a name.
We're basically that was probably the number one thing I remember from every fast food restaurant at that time, is because every fast food restaurant had Godzilla something. Even KFC got on board with some, I think, Godzilla cups at that point in time. Everyone was so excited for that stupid Godzilla movie at that point in time because there hadn't been anything like that, I said, for a long time, and it was complete dog shit. But like I said, I'm glad we have it, just because I said it's an entry in the Godzilla. We're moving on. Now we got this other Godzilla. I'm happy about it. In terms of the new one, though, so the new one, I'm actually really excited that they didn't show the monsters, just because, like I said, I don't think we have to have that in the very first trailer. I think the next trailer, trailer number 2 that comes out, we'll get that. So just kind of think of, we're going to give you a preview of the next trailer. We're talking about the Venom trailer. Like I said, that first Venom trailer that dropped. Said we didn't see Venom in that first Venom trailer at all.
Yeah.
Second trailer, we saw Venom for 2 seconds at the very end. Third trailer, Venom's all over that trailer, and yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second.
Yeah.
I don't think you need the full release of everything in that first trailer. So I think Scott, to your point, I think they'll give you more. I said this is just a tease. Like I said, there's just giving you a little tease. A button that just that one button on the top. Just give you that little tease before they move on to giving you the full show.
So you're saying that this is just cleavage?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Like, you gotta keep bring this for those ones.
Yeah. I'll remember this, and we'll bring it back up once the next couple of trailers come out. We'll see if I still have that same complaint. So let's do our rating. What are we thinking, guys, for Godzilla King of Monsters? Okay.
The only thing
I already gave mine.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about the trailer was I couldn't. There's so many different people from so many different high profile shows and movies that are in that trailer. I couldn't get out of my head. Like the dude who plays Tyrion's dad. He threw us basically a Game of Thrones quote out there. I'm like, come on, did you need to have that? I'm like,
yes.
Did you need to have that?
Yes, because the last Godzilla movie had the "let them fight" line. So they needed a good line from a well-known person to be like, that's going to be the hook for it's going to be in every trailer until the movie.
That and I'm seeing, like I said, Millie Bobby Brown, 11
as 11.
As the not 11, that's kind of weird too.
I this is going to be a side tangent for me, but I really have worries for that girl's future because of the whole Stranger Things. I feel like she's going to get typecast in these weird type of movies, and it's going to be it might be bad for her. She's going to become like the Christopher Mintz-Plasse, right? McLovin.
Yeah, totally.
That guy hasn't. Like I said, that guy doesn't look like he's aged. That's the difference. At least she's actually growing up. So hopefully, like I said, she can turn from child actor to adult actor. Unlike Macaulay Culkin, who went from child actor to
to meth addict.
Meth addict, yeah, exactly.
Well, to that point, Michael Cera's a good example of a guy that just doesn't get roles other than Michael Cera type roles. So yeah, it's a little worrisome for her future. But to your point earlier, Jeremy, there's so much going on outside of showing us the monsters, like showing us all these different people that we've seen from different shows, and then talking about this underlying thing about bringing these titans back. It's like the problem with the first one is that they try to get too much story involved. I hope they don't make that mistake again.
So real quick in the chat, Denelson says, it's like, I thought this was the new season of Stranger Things trailer. I was like, oh my God, this season is going to be crazy.
Yeah. It does. It takes away. I hate to say it, but the people aspect takes away from the story. I really don't give two shits what Kick-Ass was doing running around while Godzilla's... I just want to see Godzilla kick the shit out of a couple of monsters.
It's called Godzilla King of Monsters. All you need to do is give us Godzilla fighting monsters.
And you don't even have to get no names. Just have the random military guy go, oh no, the monsters are going here. Yeah. I don't give a shit who it is that tells me the one line of exposition I need to know.
Yeah, you had one job. Just give us Godzilla fighting monsters. That's all we need.
But you need a big name, apparently, to sell movies. So,
thumbs up rating. Thumbs up for me. All right, we'll go see that one together, guys.
Yes.
Let's just put it this way. If we all have a consensus of a thumbs up across the board, we'll go see it together, and we'll dedicate an entire episode to the movie.
I honestly, if I'm hoping that things with that movie expand to the point where we can talk about kind of future with it. I really hope King Kong shows up at the end of that movie. That's going to be my kind of hope and set up the future Godzilla versus Kong.
How cool would that be?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
All
right. So what's next, Jeremy?
What's next? Let's. You want to go and talk about? Let's continue movies, and we'll go into TV shows next.
Okay.
What about let's talk about the one that's probably gonna split our chat a little bit, just because we all have the same feeling about this movie. I've seen some chats so far, people that are excited about this movie. I don't know. So let's talk about Venom.
This is gonna get controversial.
In the chat, like I said, who is excited about Venom? Like I said, put it in the chat. Say if you're excited about Venom.
I think you have the emoji. Just I want some thumbs up and thumbs down in the chat.
Thumbs up, thumbs down if you're looking forward to Venom.
Yeah, before we talk about it, let's hear what you guys say.
The general consensus.
Okay, so there's been 3 trailers. We've shit on it twice. Let's just hint at that.
Android 39. Hi, STS guys. You all are so cute. Thank you so much.
Yay. That was not directed towards me.
It was totally directed towards you, Scott.
No.
Do y'all think Venom and Carnage will be the only suits in the movie, or do y'all think we will see other suits as well? Well, no, I think we don't even agree that that's Carnage.
No, so yeah, there may not be Carnage. Carnage.
Drink some more scotch. Here.
Yeah.
Get your scotch.
I'm trying to think about which one that is. I have to kind of think back to the thing, but honestly, is that Scream?
I think it's Riot.
It's Riot. Actually, I should have made a picture of Riot. Yeah. I didn't look exactly like him.
Well, I was like, I didn't know if it was Scream or Riot because
first thing I asked Jeremy, I was like, I don't think that was Carnage, but I don't know who that is. And he's like, oh, it's Riot.
No. So they may be going off of If anybody wants to see the other ones, it's Venom Lethal Protector has the all the children of Venom, right? So
everyone's got thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, I'm sorry, you may want to plug your ears now.
You're not going to like what we have to say.
Not gonna like what we have to say. So first trailer, I'm like, okay, there's no Venom in there. Could be interesting. The real problem I had was with Tom Hardy's voice. Tom Hardy has a decent voice already. To have him kind of do that fake New York voice.
I've been doing this forever. Yeah.
He honestly kind of sounded like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he kind of did. He's like, what, like the stutter and everything. Yeah. At least he's not talking like
don't want to do that. Don't want to do that.
So
was he thinking like Eddie's a drug addict? Like I don't know what his whole product is.
Just give us Tom Hardy's voice. He's got a cool voice. Stop making him sound like this weird New Yorker that's all like,
well, I don't know why like Tom Hardy, when he decides to do American, he's like, I'm gonna fuck it up. Like
I'm gonna sound like a total
I'm gonna sound like a chode when I talk because like
to Alex's point, Tom Hardy, in all of his roles, he does deliver a great role. So
he's a good actor. Yeah,
he's a great actor. I'm just very worried about this movie. So trailer 1, we have Tom Hardy's voice. Trailer 2, I said we see the very first couple seconds of Venom, which I'm like, it's very CG. I'm like, whatever.
My problem with it is it didn't look great, but it's a character that I don't know how it should look on in a live action, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree they got his look right, but there's so many gripes I have with his look because he's missing his signature spider on his chest because he gets it from Spider-Man, who's not even in this movie.
Well, and I'm hoping. Like I said, I have my fingers crossed. This would be the redeeming quality of this movie if they just do this. If they would just do this, it would be the redeeming quality. You know what? They did it with the Avengers Infinity War trailer where they, digitally removed the stones from Thanos. Maybe I said just maybe. Said we'll have. I said that Spider-Man logo there at some point in time. I'm hoping. I got my fingers crossed that that's gonna happen.
Maybe, man.
I don't think it's going to happen.
So,
but like I said, I have high hope.
I hope so, but they haven't shown it yet, and I think they're deliberately not showing it because they don't want people to get attached to that. But I gotta laugh at something that Larry said. Topher Grace forever. That just made me laugh out loud earlier.
You mean Eddie Brock that's smaller than Spider-Man?
I don't know if I agree with that, Larry, but that's still pretty funny.
And he also followed up with symbiote.
Symbiote.
Enunciated, like I said, wording of a word.
Emphasis.
Symbiote.
From now on, that you have to just talk like that.
I'm looking forward to the cereal.
Sorry, Jeremy.
I want some cereal I want some symbiotes.
Symbiotes.
Eat your symbiotes, kids.
Yeah, it's.
Sorry, I derailed that.
All right.
Well, you using your jowls.
So then we get trailer 3. We get all sorts of Venom.
Which
dialogue.
It makes me happy that at least they're not pulling that bullshit where he's like only in the last like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, so because that's what you were nervous about, Scott, because you said I think you were saying you had like a Reddit thread that you were reading that said like he's like only in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But from the trailer, it looks, because like I said, from the different moments in time in the trailer, it looks like that's kind of spread throughout the movie. So it looks like that was maybe false. So it looks like they said that your fear is saved. Like I said, that we actually may see Venom in more of the movie.
Yeah.
But is that necessarily a good thing? I don't know, because that trailer, the end of that trailer was so awful.
It was.
So if you didn't have that talking point, I will tell you this, it would have raised my like desire to see this movie way higher.
Ding ding ding.
If you just showed him do the change.
Can you do the dialogue? Because like I said, every time you do it, it makes me laugh.
It does.
I'm gonna eat your face and your arms and your legs. You're gonna roll down the street like a turd in the wind. It's just so
like,
silly.
What was that dialogue?
You're not Deadpool, man. You're not Deadpool.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be funny.
Symbiote.
Just say, I'm gonna eat your legs.
Well, and
lots of Funkos. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I want to bring up something that Denelson said. So it definitely seemed like there was a symbiote infection going on, because he says there's Agony, Lasher, Phage, Riot, and Scream. I don't know if I saw all those guys. I know I saw like a spear shooting girl, which I think is Scream.
Potentially, yeah.
Did you guys see Agony, Lasher, Phage?
So I've watched the trailer a couple times, and I think there's one of them attaches to like a first responder, because that chick looks like she's an EMT, and it's probably from where the like whatever that crash is right at the beginning. So they have at least that chick running around who I'm pretty sure, yes, is Scream. And yeah, as to your point with Denelson, I dropped the comic Lethal Protector. Jeremy, I know that you busted your copy out on a prior discussion for this. Go get that movie, because those are the 5 children of Venom that show up from that comic.
So there's 2. So if you're into the comic book speculation market, so if you want to make some money and flip some comics, Venom Lethal Protector, and then Venom Planet of the Symbiotes. Planet of the Symbiotes had an extremely low print run. So if you can find that on the cheap, buy it.
If you guys can see, Jeremy actually has Venom Lethal Protector on the 3rd row right next to his head.
Right there. There it is.
That one. Very iconic cover for that comic.
Awesome cover. I love the art in that, actually.
Mark Bailey drew that one, so it's signed by Mark Bailey, so that's why it's on the wall. Yeah. But yeah, so it's I wasn't thrilled with the dialogue in the trailer. Like I said, if they try to, I think Venom is a movie where you don't need to have humor, because the character's darker but by himself anyways. Like I said, in the comic books,
he eats people. Just leave it at that.
In the comic books, like I said, there's really no humor. But he's not Deadpool, and I think they're almost trying to, like, you know what? Hey, you know what? Deadpool's making him a ton of money. I said, and instead we can be edgy and we can be funny. I said, and we can make a ton of money if we can do that.
If we add some jokes, let's add some meta humor.
And so I think that's what they're doing. I think they're like, you know what? Hey, let's go ahead and add some humor, because I said that's what everybody seems to want. It works for Deadpool. So you know what? Venom is edgy. Venom is kind of an anti-hero. Let's go ahead and do it for Venom too.
Yeah, it's exactly agree with you on that. That's what I was saying. Like, you're not Deadpool, dude. Like, you don't need to be funny. You're a total badass. Just focus on what you're good at.
Just like tear a finger off the guy or something. That's a kind of threat from Venom. The dude just ate my finger.
Yeah, I want to see Venom in all of his glory, because Venom is an amazing villain. And I wish Eddie Brock was better, because Eddie Brock and Venom are 2 good characters, and this is not a good Eddie Brock in my opinion.
Outside of hopefully the bad dialogue, everything else made me like, okay, I actually have a desire to go see this. And then he did the turd in the wind thing, and I was like, dude, no. But like the next scene when he looks at the shopkeeper, he's like, I have a parasite, and walks out. Like I was like, don't have Venom talk. Like,
yeah, don't try to make it funny. You just did something that was threatening. You know, it's like that you just killed your own threatening.
You killed a dude.
Yeah,
like just keep it at that.
Right.
But,
and there's the other one where he's holding the guy up and he's standing in front of the headlights and he's like, so many snacks, you know, and he's talking about eating him. And I know I think somebody else pointed this out, so I'm not giving credit for it, but I guess that is something that he says in the comic at some point. Oh, so many snacks. But the way that they presented it in the movie just made it look comical and unnecessary.
Yeah. You don't need to quip as you're killing it. We're not in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 1980s.
Right.
You know, you don't need to say let off some steam when you throw a steam pipe through a guy. Like you can just, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, Jeremy called it out. He's like, everybody wants the comedy.
And everyone wants the comedy. Well, so they see, well, like I said, and Nate posted on his Instagram. They said that he can't even take credit for it because, like I said, I think he found it on one of his Discord chat things. The reason why they made this movie, like I said, and it was basically the mirror image of the Venom logo. And if you basically flip it around, it basically spells out money. I laughed so hard when Nate showed me that.
Because it's true.
It's so true.
But it's completely 100% true. So the reason this movie even exists in the first place is because of money.
Right. Yeah. I wish I could take credit for that, but yeah, like Jeremy said, it's just you flip the title backwards and it spells money.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why I can think this movie exists.
Yeah.
All right. So overall rating, what are we going with? I'm going. Oh, we got 2 sideways and a thumbs down.
I'm going harsh on this one. I think Venom deserves better.
I think Venom does deserve better, but I still am curious to see it, to see what they want to do. But we'll see.
And I'm sorry to everybody in the chat. I know you guys are probably like, that Nate guy is a total a-hole.
All right. So CC says, do you think it's gonna be a bad movie or bad trailer? Like I said, I think
both.
I think I don't know. Like I said, because your trailer, right, is supposed to be basically, you know what, this should make you want to go see this movie. You know what, I want to basically, you know what, I want to invest my money. I want to go, you know, plop down my $12, go to the theater, you know, sit back, enjoy my popcorn and my soda, and watch this movie just because, you know what, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
None of the trailers did that for me, and I think because, like I said, that should be the trailer should be basically your drawing, your tease that you want to see that, and none of those trailers actually did that. So.
Thanks, Troops.
I think that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Movies nowadays are expensive. I don't go to them nearly as often, but
Nate guy is a total a-hole.
Troops, see, I told you somebody was going to say it. That Nate guy's a total a-hole for giving it a thumbs down. Yep. I have nothing against anybody that's going to be excited for this. Yeah. I get called an a-hole all the time by Scott. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Most other things. But yeah, it's I have to go see. I will have to go see it just because it's a Venom movie, and Venom is awesome. But I don't have high hopes for it. If just based on the dialogue alone, if they continue with the dialogue that we saw in the trailers, I don't think I can go see a Venom movie that seems like it was written by a 10-year-old.
I have to see it just because I said Venom is literally one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah. Jeremy, you've said this before. That's his favorite villain from Marvel is Venom, and I love Venom too. He's an amazing villain, and he deserves better than this movie.
Yeah, no, CC is completely correct. It's the $5 Tuesday down here. It's a $5 Friday. That's a $5 Friday movie, and
I think that will be on. I think that's when we'll see it. I said I think we can all convince someone to love it.
I have to do a little subtle dig here. Matthew's Nerdy Nation says at least he's a reporter named Eddie Brock. I'm going to add on to that and say at least he is physically an adult and bigger than Spider-Man in this one, or at least what would be Spider-Man. Because Topher Grace was the last one, and he was. I'm pretty sure I could have just flicked Topher Grace, and just did the meh, and he would have fallen over. Like, it's not. He was not an imposing person to put the suit onto.
You just offended Larry.
You know what, Larry, be offended. You offend me with the fact that you actually liked him as Eddie Brock.
I agree.
Hashtag wait for Netflix.
Netflix and chill movie.
All right. So we're ready to move on from Venom.
Let's move on.
I've been ready.
All right, let's go to TV.
We're gonna go TV. What show do you want to talk about first?
Dude, fuck Batman.
Titans. Okay, well, we'll talk Titans. Let's talk Titans.
That's a steaming pile of turds. Like, I don't know what else to say. I think I could shit and get a better trailer than that movie.
Why? It's like one of those things where I just want DC to be good. And you change Titans into an older version of Titans, which is supposed to be Teen Titans.
But they're all in their 20s.
Yeah, you make it like all dark. Fuck Batman. It's man.
It's going to be filled with way too much teen angst.
Yeah, you were served up something on a silver platter and you just shit on it.
Yeah.
Nate's so pissed at this. Particularly Nate's the resident DC fan. Like I said, you don't know. Like I said, he loves his DC movie. But I said it's just because he keeps on getting shit on with all these different shows and movies. And like I said, and they're valid shits.
Like, you have nothing you can say in like defense. You're like, hey, it's fucking true. Like,
so much as I love DC, I am not defending this at all.
So the whole reason is, and the whole reason I was telling these guys this because I don't think either one of them watched the new Star Trek Discovery series. So in CBS's Star Trek, it's the first time they actually used the word "fuck" actually in Star Trek, and it blew everyone's minds, and it made it all over the internet, and this, that, and the other. And so, and it got a whole bunch of people. I said it influxed a ton of people to the CBS All Access, and so. Now it's a DC streaming service like, hey, you know what? Hey, we can be edgy and cool. We can make Robin say fuck. We can get a whole bunch of those subscriptions too. So literally that is the only reason that Robin was so angsty and angry and fuck Batman. Just because, you know what? It's a mad dash and grab for all of those subscriptions to DC All Access.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. Alex Lopez brings it up. Skip all of Titans and go check out season 3 of Young Justice when it drops on Netflix, because it's that'll get your Teen Titans fix.
Well, Young Justice is actually going to be they're doing a new season on All Access, so they're porting that over to All Access too. So I actually may sign up for All Access. I said I'm like, even though I've shit on Titans, I still actually might sign up for the service just because I said they are going to have the entire archive of DC animated films, and the DC animated films, I said, they're amazing. I said, if you've ever seen, I said, a DC animated Under the Red Hood, Dark Knight Returns Part 1, Part 2, they are some epic animation films. Like I said, and like I said, that's part of that service as well. So I'd actually primarily go for that. But then I said I actually might also check out Titans as well. But like I said, I wouldn't subscribe to the service specifically for Titans.
Yeah, Flashpoint Paradox is another great one if you guys haven't seen it yet. Yeah, man. And I think this Robin's supposed to be Dick Grayson. It would make more sense if he was like a Jason Todd, because that's an angry Robin.
He was a little dick, yeah.
Yeah, this Dick Grayson's supposed to be more loyal to Batman, and he's always been like by his side. I don't understand. Like, why is he killing people, like going full Punisher? This doesn't make any sense. It would be cool if they focus on Jason Todd's, descent into bad, Jason Todd.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing that stuff before he got a crowbar.
I think Uncle Cody might have that show, Larry. So yeah. I'll have to go over to his house.
Yeah.
So Funko Geek Dad says, "What do y'all think of season 2 for Iron Fist? It would be nice if they used a Iron Fist bad guy for it, but it's cool.
They're going Typhoid Mary, right?
Typhoid Mary, yeah. So
is one of the Daredevil rogues, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was like sleeping with one version of her in the comics. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I do like the Netflix series, even Iron Fist, which if you watch our second episode, you figure out our thoughts on Iron Fist.
I'm gonna save our audience some horrible experiences. Don't watch that. Anything below episode 10, don't even go listen to.
Don't touch. We were bad. We didn't know what we were doing.
Dog shit.
Yeah. If I don't have to hear the I am the immortal Iron Fist, Weapon of Kunlun, Sworn, whatever his little thing that he repeats to everybody. I would be that at least would make the entire series for me like, okay, this is better than season 1 because he didn't say his name 15 goddamn times.
You guys are being more polite, even though you're not saying you're excited. I have no interest in this at all because it's Iron Fist and it's Danny Rand, and he is just annoying.
He is a graham cracker that got wet in the rain.
It's like one of those shows. I'm like, okay, pass that up. I know I'm being ultra hater right now, and there's probably people like, dude, Nate's being negative tonight. But there's nothing about that makes me excited.
But speaking of Netflix things, this is just news. We don't really have any other info on it. We did confirm we are also getting the next season of Daredevil before the end of the year.
Now that I'm excited about.
Daredevil
was amazing.
Okay. Well, also, since Scott was doing like breaking news in regards to that, I want to do one of my breaking news that is literally 6 hours old that I am literally so excited for. You guys aren't going to be excited for it because you don't like Star Trek. But Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart himself, is basically going to helm a new Star Trek show.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Amazing.
I am actually super excited because he said he was never going to do it. He's like, you know what? I'm done with the character. I don't want to play him anymore. I don't want to revisit it. And he actually signed on for a whole new season of Star Trek.
That's actually awesome. So I probably didn't watch as much Star Trek as you, Jeremy, but the Star Trek that I did watch was very Jean-Luc Picard heavy. So I watched some Generations. I watched all the movies, and I think he kills the role.
Yeah.
So knowing that he's coming back, I'm excited.
Yeah, he's a great captain. Okay, so we talked.
Russ, man, I could have done without the boardroom drama part of Iron Fist, but I did. I mean, I enjoyed Iron Fist. It was entertaining. It's just when compared to the other ones, is not as good.
No. Yeah, it was a hard watch. Just like Scott liked it. I'm still powering through it. The new season of Luke Cage.
Yeah, I liked it. That's a thing. I will say I guess my recommendation was bad. It's
everyone's entitled to their opinion. So like I said,
yeah.
Well, honestly, chat, like I said, and listeners. So just because we shit on these things doesn't mean like you shouldn't go see it. You know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone can like what they want. Everyone can not like what they want. You know what? That's the world we live in. Like I said, we're just offering our humble opinion, kind of what our thoughts and things are.
Yeah.
No one should really take the opinion of two fat guys and an 8.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys said that, because even though like I'm shitting on a couple of things, I don't think any differently of anybody that's excited for it. It's just not my cup of tea.
No, that's exactly right. So, like I said, it's just one of those things where, you know what, enjoy what you want to enjoy. You know, take it with a grain of salt. So we're basically just here to kind of provide you some entertainment. With our reviews of it. If it happens, and I think typically you said it's more entertaining when we shit on something, but like.
We're really good at that. Even if we like it, we'll probably find a way to make fun of it.
Yeah. All right.
So I want to totally switch gears and just, do something, because we got something special coming up, right, Jeremy? What's right after this?
Right after this, like I said. So for those of you in the chat, like I said, we got 17 people right now in the chat. After, like I said, immediately following this episode, we're going to have, like I said, the first ever STS Guys after party. What does that mean? You say, you know what that means? That means you get to actually come online, come in to hang out with us, chat it up. You know, you can flip on your webcam if you want to. You can flip on your mic if you want to. Come in and say hello. I said we'll broadcast it out live to the world. Whatever you want to say, within reason, of course. Can't be well just as long as it's not anything worse than what we say.
Yeah, I was just say, if as long as you take what I say, I think I'm the kind of the line in the sand. Just don't cross something that I would probably go over.
Yeah, don't be Scott. So if you want, I said
don't be me.
Right when we wrap up the episode, I'm gonna throw the link in the description, and then basically the only thing you have to do is basically DM us. You have to. Like I said the only caveat is you have to have a Google account. So you said you have to basically, so that way I can send you an invite to the after party. So everyone can join in if they want. Like I said, I'll put those details in the chat here in just a bit.
Yeah, guys, please join. We're excited to talk to you.
Love Stranger Things forever. Yes,
we'll have
your email address.
We'll have some music pumping. It'll be a party. We'll be drinking. You could ask us anything you want.
You can yell at me for hating Iron Fist. Whatever you want to do.
I said,
can I yell at you?
You can yell at me anytime you want.
Like I said, you can yell at Nate. You can call, Scott, Chris, or Josh, or whatever the fucking name you want to call him. You said you can do anything you want. Like I said, that's what the after party is going to be about. We hope that you stick around for that because I said it's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of a test for kind of how episode 50 is going to shape up. So
this is we're going to try some things out.
We're almost 50 episodes old, guys. Can you believe it?
Yeah. So, all right. So before we go, I said we got a couple more TV series to talk about. Honestly, probably one of the things that I'm excited about. Like I said, this is talking about everything. It's busting out his toys.
Sorry, Leonardo's just staring at me.
Nice toys, Nate. So one of the shows that I'm excited for is the new season. Well, there's two shows I'm excited for. We'll talk about one first and then the second one next. I guess that's the natural progression of things.
I was gonna say, so are we gonna just skip which one comes third then?
You're so untraditional, man.
I've had a lot of beer tonight.
Everybody wants to talk to us. Let's get this going.
I've had a lot to drink. Okay, so American Horror Story, the new season of American Horror Story, it looks fantastic. As I said, it's the crossover between like Coven and Murder House. I think it's gonna be amazing.
I have to say, I've loved every episode of that, or every season of that show. So I'm so excited that it's coming back.
What?
Nature's a voice.
Sorry, getting distracted.
Yeah.
So let's continue talking, Scott.
So, I don't know where I left off.
Shit.
It's a good show, I guess. I don't know where to go from there.
All right, so I'm excited for it. Like I said, just to kind of give the synopsis of it, it's going to be the crossover between Murder House and Coven. I said two of my favorite kind of American Horror Story. I said kind of seasons. I think it's going to be fantastic. I said I'm really kind of curious to see what it's going to do, kind of what it's going to be. Debuts on FX on September 12th. So make sure you're tuning in on September 12th because I said it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, those were my two favorite seasons, so I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, that first season was definitely the best out of all of them, and if it's going to have anything to do with that, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and then I said the second show I'm excited for was the spinoff. Like I said, back in the day, I was a huge Sons of Anarchy fan. I said it's probably one of the best. I said it's one of the best series.
How did I know you were going to bring up Mayans?
I was going to bring up Mayans. I was hoping that this would be a direct tie into Sons of Anarchy, and in the trailer they fucking dropped it. I said I was so excited. I said when basically all the Mayans are sitting around Jack Taylor's grave, it literally picks up weeks after the conclusion of Sons of Anarchy. I am so freaking pumped for this show.
Awesome. Yeah, I have to admit I never watched Sons of Anarchy, but I heard a lot of positive things about it. I think now that I've seen this trailer coming out, it actually makes me want to watch this series. So I might have to do it now.
Here, Nate, do me a favor. Go watch Sons of Anarchy, please.
Right. I will.
You need to, because I said if you don't, like I said, it's going to be, like I said, you're gonna want to watch it. Like I said, it's a great show. If you want to watch basically a version of Hamlet, basically with bikers. It's an awesome drama type series.
Well, I value your guys' opinion, so I will.
Yeah, no, Sons is good, and Mayans is turning out to be awesome, and it seems like it might have a guy undercover feel to it. Like, it's gonna be good.
Yep. So, all right. So, do we have any other things to talk about?
I'm ready for this after party, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that about covers all the stuff that we wanted to talk about.
All right. So, if you want to be a part of the after party, I said there's multiple different things you can do. Basically, what you have to do is you have to get us your email. If you don't want to publish it publicly in the chat, that's perfectly fine. Just send me. You can send me an email to contact@STSguys. Contact@STSguys.com. You can send me your email there. That'd be great. Or so if you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, you can DM us on any of those platforms as well. Or if you're say, you know what, hey, I don't care if anybody knows my email, you can throw it in the chat as well. It doesn't matter. So what we'll do is, we're gonna give this about 5 minutes. I said the after party will get started. I'm gonna go ahead because I can't do the streams at the same time, so I have to end this stream before I can start the other stream. So what I'll do is I'd give us about 2 minutes. I'll wait for everyone to have, like I said, give everybody a chance to go ahead and send their emails over. If you don't get in on this after party, hey, that's perfectly fine. What we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to do this, as a part of some of our shows. And episode 50 of the STS Guys is gonna be one giant huge party. So on episode 52, like I said, there might be some giveaways, there might be some prizes involved too. So you might find some more information about that if you join this after party. Just saying.
Yeah, and like Jeremy said, if you guys don't join, make sure you're subbed to us. Make sure you give us a big fat thumbs up on this. Check us out on Instagram at STS Guys. Check us out on Twitter at STS Guys. Check us out on Facebook at the STS Guys. We're even on Patreon, guys. So if you like our show, you like what we do, anything that you can contribute goes right back to the channel. We do giveaways all the time. $10, $5, $1 a month, doesn't matter what it is. We appreciate you being here. And if you can, join us for this after party. It's going to be fun.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream now. So this has been episode 47 of the STS Guys. I have been Jeremy.
Hey guys, it's been Nate.
And I'm Barry McCockner.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, Josh. Oh,
Christopher.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a couple seconds here. So if you throw your email in the chat, I'm grabbing that. So hey, Love Strange Things. I got your email.
Your email.
You'll have an invite coming your way.
Larry's going to be there too, guys. If you guys missed Larry,
Larry's going to be there.
So we got a couple other people that are going to be there for sure too. Hey, and you know what? If you don't even want to talk, you don't want to be on camera whatsoever, I said just tune into our channel real quick. Like I said, it'll be like 2 minutes. I said you'll see another live stream start. You can just watch and you can join the chat too. So
yeah, so that chat will be up as well. So we'll have a YouTube chat for that.
Well,
stay tuned, guys.
So stay tuned for that. Join that live stream. It's an STS Guys AMA. It'll go through everything. All right, guys. So this has been Jeremy, Scott, and Nate from the STS Guys, episode 47. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you in the after party.